Thanks for hosting this event. It's really exciting to be kind of closing off our last season, as Addison was saying, and moving on to TBH 26 in preparation for the next Heart Hackathon. So I'll just give a bit of background for if anyone's new. But so at TBH, we're the University of Bath's only medical engineering team, and we're based in Bath in the UK. Um, our team has grown significantly since its inception in 2022, and we competed at the first ever annual Heart Hackathon in 2023, where we actually won the competition and proceeded to win again the following year in 2024. And then this previous year, last month, we won the Most Advanced Design Award. We're supervised by two experts, Dr. Catherine Fraser and Dr. Melisine Pigeon, and they're there for any kind of technical support, but also emotional or kind of admin tasks that we need help with. So part of what we do at TBH is raise awareness, and we think this is very important. So, as Ethan mentioned earlier, we've attended conferences such as Develop 3D Live, which we presented alongside Autodesk. We've also presented with ANSYS at their In Silico Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Summit, which was really a great opportunity for us. And it's also a great way to talk about cardiovascular disease, and especially total artificial hearts in the context of cardiovascular disease as well. And then we also had the another ANSYS kind of webinar. This was online, where we again talked about a solution to end-stage heart failure being total artificial hearts. I think one thing that's very nice with this as well is that having sponsors that let you speak at their platform gives you kind of a room to experiment with what you're prioritizing. And so actually we introduced the challenge statement as well in that final webinar, where we kind of opened the idea of using total artificial hearts as destination therapy too. So we've got a mission statement, and this is for last year or the 2025 team's mission, but it will kind of adapt based on where the design goes this year. But essentially, we wanted to make our device for a woman or a female patient, and we want it to be physiologically and anatomically optimized, enhance long-term patient well-being, and essentially improve the survival rates of women with end-stage heart failure. This is the at the bottom of the screen, you can see the progression of our design. So in 2023, we started with a relatively huge yellow heart, and then we've progressively decreased the volume each year, which is still one of our major constraints. But we're aiming to get the sizing kind of perfect this year, so an even further volume reduction. Cool. And so we've got the team structure now, and I'm just going to talk over this because I know it's not a very exciting slide to look at. But essentially, we've got the team lead, who was me last year, but then we've got Chara, who's also on this call, who will be leading the team for 2026. And the team lead kind of overlooks everything. And then from there, we've got the technical and the commercial sides of TBH. The technical side has a lead as well. And then they manage the mechanical, electrical, and biology teams. But again, all of those have leads too. Sorry, I'm saying the word lead a lot. Each of the mechanical, electrical, and biology teams is divided into sub-teams, like I know a lot of the other teams have as well. And these are just focused specifically on certain aspects of the design. So I haven't put them all here because there's a lot, but for example, for mechanical, we have an actuation team and we have a casing team. Electrical, we have control, and several other teams such as power transfer and data transfer. And then biology doesn't have set sub-teams, but we have more of a mechanical biology aspect, so building the rigs and stuff, and then we have more of a testing biology aspect. And then on the commercial side of things, we've split it into business and marketing, where we have a range of roles. And so sorry, I can't remember who said it, but someone said that having kind of titles to what you're working on really helps with motivation and performance. So that's what we try and do as well. So everyone has something to put on their CV as well. Um, So we have a lot of meetings each week, and this includes a general weekly meeting, technical team meetings, commercial leads, and sub-team meetings. IP is so we've got a kind of IP form that you need to fill out to be able to join any of these meetings in case of any confidential information being shared. And each meeting has its own kind of goal. So the general weekly meeting is the one that gets attended by the most members. And it's kind of anyone who feels like they might want to join TBH or, they just want to see what it's about, joins that, and we just talk about our achievements and what we're working on towards this week, and kind of any sub leads or uh, technical team leads that have something to share will present in the meeting as well. So it's a really nice way of kind of harboring a sense of community as well. And yes, these are led by a variety of different people, and they do happen every week, which means that if someone can't host the meeting that week, that's fine, and someone else will take over. And then in terms of when we actually do the work, there are no set working hours. Obviously, people organise within themselves when they're going to be in the lab or when they're going to write up a report or anything. So we kind of do that aside from uh, the set hours of the meetings to make sure that people are not overwhelmed with work, and kind of if any time within that week they achieve their tasks, that's fantastic. So we have kind of this is just three main things I wanted to pull out that we do very well, I think. So we have a lot of lab sessions, and this is again for anyone who's interested, they can join either a dissection, they can join in helping to make our electrical phantoms, or we'll run sessions on kind of like how to use our 3D printers so everyone has access to them. And in case there's not one of our more senior leaders in the lab, they are able to still kind of print what they needed to print. We also have workshops, so this is both internal and with our sponsors. So the top one is with one of our sponsors, Hooper Quinn, in this picture, and they were kind of helping break down a bit of a mechanical aspect of our design. And then we also have obviously ideation sessions and workshops. We also have a lot of commercial workshops because it's been found that that's the more challenging bit to get people involved in. But once you have everyone sat down, kind of bouncing ideas around, it's a lot easier. And then finally, socials. I think something that we could definitely work on more is making sure that we have a more kind of fun aspect. Obviously, it's all fun, but a kind of most social aspect to the team, and making sure that we know what everyone likes doing and having something to talk about aside from just creating our device is actually really useful, and makes it a more kind of collaborative and inclusive environment as well. Okay, so now our approach to the Heart Hackathon. So this is our kind of calendar year, and I'm basing it off of last year's year. So all throughout until September, we've got design iterations and building our device, and then obviously a lot of testing. I've just highlighted here that the blue months are our summer holidays, and so a lot of students are not physically in Bath during these months, which makes it challenging, which I know, like CBU was saying earlier as well. And the way that we kind of manage this is by a lot of remote working. We have a robust quality management system on Teams, so everyone should have access to all of the documentation necessary to keep going remotely. And we try and achieve most of our physical building before the end of May. There are also always students that are still in Bath doing an internship or just living there over the summer as well. So it's not like it comes to a complete stop, but it's a dramatic decrease in size of the team, I would say. And yeah, testing is really important. I think one of the goals for next year is to just do as much testing as possible to test everything, anything that can be tested. Okay, so then what we have at the same time is a new ideation and proof of concepts for a possible new device for the following year, which will happen for about 3 months, 3 to 4 months at the start of the year. And then this is taken forward after the Heart Hackathon has been attended, which is where the star is. Recruitment starts kind of end of summer and goes on for the entire time until the Heart Hackathon. And this is kind of the more challenging part because balancing presentation practice and handover and recruitment all at the same time is obviously quite a difficult task, especially when in Bath you have a placement year in your third year. So all of the students coming back from placement might not have heard of Team Bath Heart, and we have to do a lot of events kind of at the university to make sure it's as widespread as possible and people know to join. And then, yeah, handover will commence until the Heart Hackathon, and then the new team starts. So this is kind of the final thing before Akshara takes on from here. And then recruitment specifically, so anyone can join, like QUT. You just need to sign an IP form. And anyone can join any of the technical teams as well. You can join multiple technical teams if you're interested in biology and electrical, or commercial as well. We really encourage both commercial and one of the technical teams to make sure that everyone is still in the loop about what actually needs to be disclosed commercially. There is an interview process for leads and sub-leads. I can go into more detail if that's something people find interesting, but it's very similar to what everyone else was saying, about having kind of a screening process and then just a one-to-one interview. And then there's a handover period for all leads. Everyone is still at university that was in the team previously. So we have a longer handover period because we can, which is a luxury that we have probably in comparison to some of the other teams where that might be more challenging. Okay, and then this is some advice. Sorry, I think the formatting looks a bit weird on this one, but in terms of technical aspects, it's really important to establish specifications and then check back at this against it regularly, because this means that your device is aligned from where you initially set it out to be. I know that's like probably a very obvious statement, but sometimes it's easy to forget. And then also kind of along the same lines is sticking to the mission that you've set out. And then we've got on the more communication side of things, and sponsorship specifically, ask for money for travel, because we found that that is the more that is the kind of aspect sponsors are more likely to give you money for anyway. And also, given that we're from all over the world, it's going to take quite a large sum of money to get a few members of your team to wherever you're going. So it's really, really a crucial aspect that maybe might be swept under the rug at the beginning. And then on the communication side as well, we've got transparency. It's really important to just keep everyone in the loop, make sure everyone knows what's going on. And that can be like through a general meeting or, through Teams notifications or anything like that. And then in terms of the Heart Hackathon, QUT was saying this, but obviously attend all the related events and join the relevant media channels. It's really nice to also just see familiar faces. And then obviously you recognise people at the competition, and it's really lovely because then you can kind of catch up almost over the fact that you've known each other for now a year, and also ask the questions that you've been meaning to ask, which is again an obvious point, but it is so useful to either just email them, or there was a Discord channel last year as well that was also having a lot of regular communication. And then finally, maybe one more slide, we've got goals. So we want to build the technical depth of our team. We want to work on the culture and motivation of our team, and we want to work on IP specifically. So in terms of technical depth, we're trying to set up a buddy scheme to make sure that junior members feel confident and they have kind of an area of expertise, so that when the senior members graduate, it's not like as someone said, the ANSYS Pro just suddenly leaves, and we never hear from them again. And we've got workshops with one of our sponsors to kind of help that as well. Culture and motivation, as I said earlier, we really want more socials. It's just really nice to get to know your teammates on a more kind of friendly basis instead of just being colleagues. And then we've got intellectual property as well. So this is something we notice a lot of the other teams at the competition are doing amazingly. Like a lot of you have patents and working towards patents. And I think this is something which we definitely want to work more towards. And we're very inspired by the fact that you guys have done this. So that is definitely one of our key missions for this year. Okay, this is the last slide. Yeah, it's great to be sponsored by so many amazing companies and to have this opportunity from the Heart Hackathon. And yeah, a big thanks to all of our academic advisors and our wonderful art specialists, Chris Bowles, who helps us on a kind of ad hoc basis. But yeah, that's the end of our presentation. So thank you.
Thank you very much. One I had was I think I noticed in your team structure you have a dedicated EDI lead. Um, I was wondering if you
Yeah.
could talk further to that and like maybe it's in relation to the culture motivation that you're emphasizing.
Yeah, so we've tried a lot last year to make sure that we're promoting ED&I practices within our team. And the ED&I lead is someone who just makes sure to kind of run events that are inclusive as well as oh, there's a sorry, my cat is interrupting. Um, Make sure to run events that are socially inclusive and also to make sure to provide metrics on what our team is looking like. We're not trying to be, you know, you have to have a certain amount of people that are men, a certain amount of people that are women, but being able to know where maybe we're missing um, kind of an equal split between people is really, really insightful. And then that can kind of help with our recruitment plan and how can we make a more diverse team and how can we make sure that everyone from all backgrounds has the opportunity to join the team as well. So that's something that yeah, we haven't got it completely right yet, but the ED&I lead is a really critical member of TBH.